Hello there, adventurers. You might remember these steps here from a previous video, probably the last video I did at this state park, Blue Knob State Park. I talked about how you come up out of the ravine and you're hiking and then you come to steps, whether that was a good thing or a bad thing. So these steps here, they went to what used to be a homestead that was right here. It's not there anymore, hasn't been there a long time, but the steps remain. So I hiked about a mile back to here, debating whether I was going to make a video or not. And I've decided to maybe make one. So what we'll do here, before we get going, take a look at the map, see what I did, see what I'm planning to do. So this is your typical free state park map. You pick them up at the office or trailheads or camping locations. So I'm camping right here, family campground at Blue Knob State Park. I come out Chappelle's Field Trail, down across the road, and come over. I was just up here at this intersection 18, which takes you onto the connector trail. It's listed as Rock and Rye Trail, I believe. Rock and Ridge Trail. So we're going to hike down here to intersection 17, and I'm going to explain to you what these 18, 17, 20, 16, what those mean and how to use them. So come along. So as we've talked about in other videos, here's the trail blaze for this trail. It's blue. This is a connector trail. It's not actually the Rock and Ridge Trail, but it is blazed the same. As you can see, you're not going to find many blazes on this trail, but you kind of want to find out what the blaze is for your trail to try to stay on, because there will be, side shoots and stuff that people might take to go see something. And the more popular that reason for the side shoot is, the more that trail might end up looking like the trail. So we're right into the summer here. It's June 27th and vegetation is up. Definitely glad I wore long pants today, because it is not raining, and you can probably hear what sounds like rain, but that is the heavy dew we had today and the fog that's still sticking around. But we're going deep in the ravine, or if you have a different name for going down in the cut of the mountain. So this is only the second blaze I've seen, and you can see what the blaze used to be. It's these two light blue lines, which can get confusing, because some of the trail language with blazes is that two side by side means that the trail is turning. So you got to have your wits about yourself and sometimes think about things. This trail is not turning, it's continuing. Well, right there is a blaze on the back of that tree, and yeah, that's kind of confusing. But that's not the new colors, so you won't see that on this trail today. My goodness, is it beautiful down here. Sun's trying to peek through the fog or clouds. We're pretty high. We're in the second highest point in Pennsylvania, so Gonna just keep right on down the trail. So eagle-eyed viewers in the last clip may have noticed this marker. This is an intersection marker number 17. It's marked on 2 of the 4 sides. And you can see the blue marker for the Rockin' Ridge Trail. And another interesting, hey, let's just show them arrows. So this arrow points to the connector trail we walked down on. And this arrow points to the trail going up the hill. Now earlier I said I was going to do intersection 17 and 16. So I got the map oriented here to the trail. It's a pretty important thing to know how to orient your map. It's basically so we're at this marker here. And as I said, this is the connector trail we were on. This is the trail that goes up. So right there. And I was going to hike down to 16. I've since changed my mind. I haven't been on this trail for a while. I have been on it, so it's nothing new. But at least it'll take us through a different area than my last video you can watch, where I hiked out here and saw the foundations. My last video at Blue Knob State Park. And I have some reels also from this area showing the streams, which, in case you don't know, streams are these blue lines. You think it's common knowledge, but not everybody, uses maps. So the blue is water. You can see over here there's other streams. So getting back to this thing, the intersection marker. So I'm sure a lot of people know about GPS. Most everybody's got an app nowadays on their phone that either uses satellite images or, paper maps. My favorite is Avenza, because you're actually using the paper map you would hold in your hand and it gives you your location. But a lot of times I just like to walk out with the paper map. And when you're in state parks, you can, everybody has a different way that they're going to hike. Some people literally just are like, well, this is the trail I know, I'm going to hike it. I'm going to, get my mile in today or whatever. Other people like to get a little deeper to get away, like myself. I mean, this is a way. I highly doubt there's anybody listening to me talking to myself out here today. But there could be. This is a popular mountain biking trail, and you mountain bikers, you guys are brave, ladies and gentlemen that mountain bike. Some of these trails are rough. But I've seen the tracks, so I know you're still using them. So this marker. So we come in at 18 here. What they are, they're like if you put a waypoint on your GPS app. So these are kind of like that. And as you can see, from 18 to 17, it's not real far. So as you're hiking, you're looking for 17, and then you're like, wow, now I'm here on this map. I have absolutely zero room for error. I am right there, which is right where we are. And then we're going to hike up, and we're going to find this marker, number 14. And then I will know zero chance for error that that's where I am on the map. And then I can plan where I'm going to go from there. There's always a chance I might decide to go longer, but I'm probably just going to hike back Sawmill Trail and back to the campground. So if you would be to hike down to 16, Once you get down to 16, you can decide if you're going to go further down, which, as you can see, it takes you down to near the pool. If you're interested in swimming, I have hiked down to the pool from the campground numerous times. It's a wonderful hike. You get down, you get to get refreshed, and then by the time you're back at camp, you're ready for a shower anyway. So, you know, the good stuff. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go hike for this next marker and follow these blue blazes once again up until we get to marker number 14, intersection marker number 14. We'll discuss some more there. It's been a beautiful hike so far. I hope that was understandable, what I just said, but it's kind of like your, you know, your GPS marker, waypoint marker on your app. This way, you know, you hike from one to the next, just like you would on the waypoints you would put on your app. And you can know where you're at on the map without having to do too much other thinking. Because, you know, if you come down to this marker and you have your map going the other way, and you're like, all right, I'm going down to the pool and I got my map the wrong way and I go up this way, well, you ain't going anywhere near the pool, and you're going to be really tired when you get to the top and realize your mistake whenever you end up at marker 14 instead of marker 16. So hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions about anything map related and you'd like me to make a video, I would love to. Sometimes I don't know that people really use them too much, but as you can see, the water is dripping on this one, and I can't recommend enough getting Purple Lizard maps for where they are. They're waterproof, and you wouldn't have to worry about this. You could actually use it as an umbrella in this dew that's falling off the trees today. But all right, so another thing to think about if you are going to hike with the paper maps that the park office gives you, you might want to have a Ziploc bag or something similar to put it in to keep it dry. All right, here we go. We got to crawl over top of this tree that's down. We have lots of down trees in Pennsylvania right now due to the endless rain and the high winds, so always be prepared to go over, under, around, or back the path you come. Our forest roads are the same way. If you're not prepared to remove it from the road, you're going to have to know how to back up and turn around. So come along. Well, we're barely out of sight of the last down tree and right into the next. The last tree already had a path up around it. This one, although dead, looks to be, nope, never mind. It's not as fresh as it looks. So here we go. Sorry for the heavy breathing, but this is steep. I'm out of shape and trying to video and get across the tree. I apologize for everybody bouncing around here, but trying not to slip and kill myself. And my stick just dropped. All right, on second thought, so we don't all get dizzy, I'm gonna turn you off. We'll meet up again. So as I mentioned, and I'm not sure how well it will show up in this video, we have had a lot of heavy rains, and one right after the other, and you can see that this trail is fairly eroded. So if you are one of those mountain bikers, and I know that this is just like 4x4 guys seek out the ruts and the rocks, and you guys do too, this is a big difference from the last time I was here. This was a fairly smooth, you know, just some exposed rocks. So keep that in mind when you're coming out. Your trail is gonna look different, especially this year. I mean, heavy rains and storms aren't nothing new, but the ones that are closest in your memory banks are the ones that stick out the most. So, but here we are, little tree to use as a table. And I wanted to talk about map legend real quick, because once again, common knowledge is only common once you start into a hobby or you know, whatever your thing is. So this is the legend of a map, and as you can see, it tells you all the different symbols. I didn't completely unfold it, but the one we're going to talk about now is this one here, the organized group cabin camp, because that's about where we're coming up to. So we flip our map, orient it towards the trail. So as you knew from before, we were at 17. We are about right here. So we'll turn that. So there's our map, there's our trail, and pretty soon we'll be coming to some cabins. Just wanted to talk about that for a minute or two here. So this right here is that symbol. We're going to actually go up this trail. There's a paved road that comes down. That's what this black line is a paved road. As you can see, it goes all the way out, and then this gate would open up for someone who wants to come in and use the group cabin camp. I believe it used to be a Girl Scout camp back in the day. So that's what we're getting ready to come up to. Just some more stuff about the map. You know, we started back here at the campground, come out here, crossed over. This was the first intersection marker we seen. Then 18, which told me, hey, go right. Went right, went way down in the ravine, as you can see by the topo lines, to 17, and then up along this stream, which is empty at the moment. Surprise, surprise. And we're about right here, and we're going to get ready to head up and around the camp, and I'll film a little bit of the camp. This is probably going to end up being one of my longer videos. I hope you stick around the whole time, and I hope the information is useful to both new hikers and old hikers alike. Sometimes you get caught up in just doing something, and you don't really think about the mechanics of it anymore. So, and I make these videos in hopes that someone watches them that can't get out and see this, or that watch it and decide, hey, I can do that, and grab a map and go for a hike. So we'll get back as soon as we come into the group cabin camp. Okay, adventurers, probably just completed one of the steepest parts of the trail. And if you're up here in the fall, when there's no leaves on, you'd be able to see this cabin a lot easier. But right up there is the first of the cabins spread out through this camp area. We should come closer to one here shortly. We're going to continue hiking up the trail. You can see a little better. I know the very first time I hiked here, because of how steep this was, I had my head down mostly, hoping my feet kept going. It was a few years ago when I was in even worse shape, but I didn't even notice that cabin. And back up here a second. This one here, where you barely see the top of the roof of it. Didn't notice that one. And as I'm going up this trail, I was like, oh wow, there's a cabin. And I had never been back to this group camp before that day. I knew it was here. Oh, hey, there's my favorite thing. Big rock on the trail. And I think I located my first group of other hikers today. So here we go. Well, I haven't located those hikers, but I can hear them. There's definitely more than one, because unless they're doing YouTube videos talking to themselves too. Now we're going to take a little off trail hike here and check out this cabin. There's probably water. Here's the cabins. Never been back to these ones. There's ones closer to the trail that I have been to. Oh. Pleasant surprise. So this is what the cabins are. Smaller one. This looks like a main meeting house here. Another main meeting house up there. Sorry, my filming's a little off today. Been doing a lot of hikes without my phone. Sometimes you just need to leave technology behind. But I was also not getting any content for my channel. So if you did look at the old fireplace in my other video, this here's probably what the cabin looked like around it. So to kind of answer that question, another cabin. So the hikers have caught up to me. You can probably hear them now. So another cabin down there. Water fountain. We'll take a walk out and look out in this field, and then probably gonna call it for the moment. There's people back here at the cabin, which is why I hear people. So we'll take a look out here in this field, and then we'll get out of their way. These here ones look fairly newer. All right, we're gonna get out of their way and continue on our hike. So there was a lot of people at the group camp. I decided to go off trail and get up to the other trail, so we won't be seeing marker 14 today. But here's some more cabins. If you can see them, they blend in very well, which was probably, you know, the design of cabins to blend in really well. But all right, I got to hike up there somewhere. So I'll get back with you when I get up there. All right, we made that trek. If you think the trails are steep, try going off trail. So here's a new marker. We are now on the Sawmill Trail, which I'm going to venture a guess. I have no idea that it was probably a rail line into the sawmill, because this is flat. Not anymore. It's got some rises into it, but you could tell that it used to be extremely flat. But I hiked up from down in that mess somewhere. So if we look at the map, we orient it. So we'll go ahead and do this. So there's the Sawmill Trail right here. It's this trail. So we, from about right here, we cut out through the terrain and up to there. So about from, we kind of followed this contour line until we had no choice and had to climb. Oh boy, I need to get a way to use both of my hands, but you can see the contour line. That's called contour navigating, following that. And then we went right up the pass there. So something new if you've never heard of it. What contour navigating does, it allows you to stay on a fairly level plane, and you just navigate by staying on that height, I guess. But all right. So one good thing about a plan, it will change. And we're going to continue on our hike back to the campground. The channel has been on this trail numerous times. Not too awful sure how many times I filmed it, but we'll take a little walk on it. This is the trail I was on when I went back to the abandoned cabins that just had the fireplace and foundation. And of course, earlier in this video, we saw what a cabin around those fireplaces would look like, although they're newer than the homestead would have been, so they probably didn't look exactly like that, but pretty similar. So now what's interesting is this flat trail where you can see way ahead of yourself. We're already at another marker already. So Orange Diamond, they had the oh, I forget the name of it. If I remember, I'll try to put it right here, but the PA Outdoor Corps, I believe it's called, they spent last summer up here. There you can see just the old marker. And they did a lot of trail work and marker work. So if you know anyone from the ages of 18 to 25, or even I think 16 maybe, and they're a college student or a high school student and need something to do during the summer, check that out. So just walking along. If you watch that older video, this was all, there was no leaves, no grass, no ferns. So vegetation skyrocketed this year with all the rain, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it is actively raining, sprinkling at the moment. Still no sign of the sun today, but that's all right. It's been too hot. And already to our next marker. So trails are marked here at Blue Knob State Park. I don't really know, unless maybe on the back of the new maps, if they have anything that tells you what the colors will be. A lot of times you just check at the trailhead or the intersection and go on your way. But this one here is very well marked. I mean, I can see the one way up ahead already. So you're not going to get lost on this trail. And if climbs up the side of the mountain are not your thing, this is a very easy trail. My wife, she enjoyed this trail. It was easy, it had a destination, and it went out right from the campground using Chapel's Field Trail. So it's a good one. Since I've already made videos of this trail and the trails to come, probably going to end it here. Thank you very much for coming along if you went the whole distance. If you would, please comment down below if any of this information was helpful. Maybe I said something wrong and you know the correct word for it. I'd appreciate that too. I am not an expert. I've just been doing this for all of my life that I've been able to walk on my own. So, and any comments, or I guess I shouldn't say comments, any information that I give is based on trial and error on my many years in the Pennsylvania forests adventuring. So none of it is textbook. It's just what I know, what I've learned, what I've used in my adventures. Everybody does it different. And I'm always happy to hear how you do it, how you might go about it. So comment below. Constructive criticism is expected. And hope to catch you in the forest.